All right. We're live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Andrew tribute show. Of course, I'm Eddie Law. We got Fred Kirby, of course, and Aaron Robbins joining us. I wish it was under better circumstances, though, for sure. It's I don't know. It's been pretty crazy. I talked about it last night a little bit before we did a pre-fight show, like of sorts, for this Halifax and then Bellator a little bit. But we talked about Andy for like the first 5-10 minutes. And I kind of gave my thoughts on it. It's super shocking and shit, and it was crazy. So, Aaron? What did you think when you got that message?
I was driving home actually from a comedy club, and had a really good time. Had a beer while I was out, and then Max DM'd me, and you guys all got the same DM. Mm-hmm. So obviously, I didn't think his son would make a joke like that, but I'm kind of glad that he prefaced it, because it's just shocking. I had talked with Andy 2 days prior to that, and like I told you guys off air, he had commended me on the getting off of my drug problem and building the clinic back up, and asked me how Jake was doing and what I was planning on doing this summer. And then, you know what I mean? So just like our normal conversations, asked him how he was doing. He was struggling. We always talked about that. And then to get that DM from Max on the way home, Fred and I had talked about this, like, loss is something that you deal with as an adult. And this is a guy that's over in the Cotswolds that I've never met physically, just through, social media and Skype talks and things like that, and the podcasts he and I had done, and, the three of us had done. And it was super shocking to me how sad I was at Andy's passing. We had talked about me coming to the Cotswolds and visiting him, because Fred and I knew that he was battling lymphoma. Mm-hmm. And it just got to be one of those things where, Andy's sick, but you don't expect him to be gone, because every time you ask him, he just says, oh, everything sucks dick, but I'm just going to keep on keeping on. And then to get that, it was true emotions, a little bit of crying, difficult drive home. And then my whole next day was just focused on that, like, never going to get to meet him. And then, like, all of the neat things that he was interested in, the physics that he was interested in space, and, how he was always up on the politics thing and Muay Thai and the mixed martial arts. Just a really super interesting guy, and just a really weird way to make a true friend, with the social media thing. Never have met him, never ran into him, and then started a friendship like you normally do. Just kind of catch a guy's tweets, and then, start a show with him. And then it's weird because, like, then you start to look forward to what he says about certain things, like what he's going to say about certain things. And Fred had said it, like, it sounds a little bit cliche or a little bit hokey, but the ginger gargoyle thing, and the specific things that he shit on us about, calling me a fat bastard all the time, and just making fun of me being promiscuous, even though that's a wild misnomer. It's weird. Like, I kept his DMs. I know some of us did it a little bit differently, but I cherish the conversations I had with Andy, because none of his conversations were inconsequential. You just didn't really shoot the breeze with him. It was actually a good conversation. And so it's a good friend, and I'll miss him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm just like you, man. I just got out of jiu-jitsu. Whoa, echoing somewhere. You guys hear that?
Yeah. So anyways, let's do this.
Yeah, your echo sucks.
Let's do this before we move on.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. Take our drink, and then
I have Patron.
Jack Daniels on the rocks. Lots of it. And, of course.
And so we will miss you, Andy.
And Guinness.
Yeah, so I was kind of like you. I just got out of jiu-jitsu, man. I just got out of jiu-jitsu at a training, hard freaking night of training, drained, exhausted, hungry, freaking just parched. And I get home and I get, Max's DM, and I legit dropped my phone, and I had to pick it up and reread the message like 5 times before it actually hit home of what exactly happened. You know what I mean? And it was like, it wasn't. It just didn't seem real. And I had the same reaction as as Aaron, like tears, all that, and the same thoughts too. It's like how how you could make a connection with somebody, like such a deep connection with somebody. You mean on Twitter? I mean, like you guys, like you said, we never met him in person. Really wish we had. I really wanted that opportunity. It would have been great, but just like you said, no conversation was ever wasted. He always asked about. He asked like he gave a shit. Like this guy gave a shit. You know what I mean? He came off as like an old prick sometimes. To on the shows, and he was a funny guy in that manner. But he gave a shit about people, and it was I don't know. It's I don't think it's sunk in for me just yet. You know what I mean? It's still very weird to say that he's gone. To think that he's gone and talk about him in past tense. It's I'm almost half expecting him to pop up at some point and call us a bunch of twats, and kind of wish he would.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Fred, what about you, man?
Yeah, man, same thing, man. Like I was really fucking blown away when I read that message. Like I just couldn't believe, like Aaron said, I don't remember he said it before or once since we started the show, I'm a little fucking wasted. But he said he's glad that Max prefaced it by saying that this wasn't a joke. Because it fucking felt like, I guess it was just the sudden nature of it to it. And like you said, anytime you'd ask English about it, he always would tell you, feeling like bloody shit, which all seems so much more meaningful now. You always know people are being serious and you never not took him for his word, but he was always around, man. He was always up. He was always cool thing that I loved about English, man. And obviously it was because he was fucking sick and always awake, but the dude was always around no matter what. I can fucking tweet a selfie at 2:30 in the fucking morning and he'd hit me with the fucking disgusting ginger gargoyle, a cute little fucking meme or some shit, Yeah. But you know what, man? That's one of the things that I actually come to really fucking like and respect about English, man. English was a fucking no nonsense person. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a fucking all in or an all out guy, man. If he didn't like you, which was most fucking people, there was no missing around the bush, no beating around the bush. He'd tell you he was a fucking dumbass and tell you why he thought you was a fucking dumbass. But if the few people that he did like, if he did take a liking to you for whatever reason, he was a real ass motherfucker, man, and he actually cared. English would never fucking miss an opportunity to give me shit publicly on Twitter.
Yeah.
Every fucking chance he got, he would demean me and belittle me in every way he could. But at the same time, man, I've been dealing with a lot of shit with my little sister, personal family problems, fucking horrible headaches, just shit that not a lot of people know about, but that me and English have went back and forth about. And even after he would hit me with the with the ginger gargoyle line on Twitter, he'd always shoot me a DM and be serious and be sincere and say, "How you feeling, chap? How's the headaches and how's your sister doing?" And he was kind of my first introduction to English people, I guess, to a degree too. And he was fucking older and he had some class about him. So I loved that we could literally break each other's balls in the worst possible way. And in the next fucking moment, he could cut that shit off and say, "Hey, how are you doing? Seriously, how you feeling?" Oh, because you're a fucking asshole. And I fucking love that, man. I think that's one thing that me and Aaron and English always, and you too, Eddie, I think that's something that all of us kind of in our circle have in common, is that we don't get ass hurt over things. We're able to break each other's balls, and we know, no matter what it is, we don't get fucking uptight about it. We don't take it the wrong way. And we're all still really sincere and real with each other. And English was a good example of that, man. He was always like that, like Aaron said, man, it was kind of like losing an uncle or something, man.
Yeah.
Him not being around, there were certain things that I would kind of look to him towards, and I'd shoot him a little DM and ask him how he felt about shit or what I should do, or and he was fucking smart, man, and he didn't fucking bullshit you. There was times he told me shit and it was like, fuck, I didn't want to hear that. But I fucking love it. That's why I would ask him, because I knew he wouldn't fucking bullshit me.
Right.
Even if I didn't want to hear it, he'd say it, and that's what needed to be fucking said. So yeah, man, and the constant, it's weird the way we form these bonds with each other over Twitter or Skype or Facebook, this social media, this new age of communication, man. I care about you dudes, you know what I'm saying? I know what's going on in your life, Aaron. I know about your son. I never met you before, but I know a lot about you. I want to know that you're doing all right. You know, every once in a while, if we haven't talked for a while, I'll make it a point to just shoot you a text. You still breathing? Good. Go fuck yourself. Matters, you know, Eddie.
That's pretty close to the truth. Which, you know, I know why you're having those headaches. It's that fucking hair.
It's too tight, man. They had to put like a foot in the back of his head and yank, like just to fucking get that shit in there.
Oh no, it's not. It's not because there's too much tension. It's just because God hates him for being a white boy with cornrows.
God loves me, you son of a bitch.
Dude, no, he doesn't, because you don't even believe in God. Right?
Oh, fuck.
You know, I'm coming around on that. There's no way I'm this cool and this pretty with this big a cock if God's not real.
Oh my God.
He believes. He believes that. Fuck. Oh.
You know, I think it was weird. Fred just said he was always around. It was really strange to meet a guy who was as ill as Andy, because we had talked about, he and I had talked about it quite extensively, how many times he had been through treatment, the extent of his pain that he was in, the neoplasms that had formed in his neck and in different places. And so obviously he also didn't like to be medicated on opiates because of side effects from that. And so oft times you'd realize that Andy was up at 4:30 his time in the morning and 4:30 our time in the morning. You know what I mean? And so I talked with Eddie about this, like, you trivialize it sometimes and it really brings it home. And not to say that I feel bad about it, but it was almost like it was just part of his personality, that perseverance through agony, more or less. The guy was not doing well, especially in the end, and he always just kind of tabled that. You know, I would say, first off, all of our conversations started with, how are you feeling? And he would say, I'm in a total fucking shitstorm, or, you know, fucking miserable, all the time. And then he would be, but on to something else. And then it was always, how is young Master Jake doing? Or, you know, how is this going for you, or something. And like what Fred said, it was really weird how much he paid attention to how well the clinic was doing, how well my sobriety was doing. You know what I mean? Like, Andy knew how to be a friend. He was selfless. He was the most miserable fuck I've ever talked to in my life. But besides being a miserable fuck, he really did. We formed a strange bond. And the three of us are like that too. Because I remember when I started talking to Eddie.
Yeah.
I started talking to Eddie way before I started talking to Fred on Twitter. Because I didn't understand how Twitter worked. I just thought you could talk with just any random fucking person and you would end up with this following of people. And so I remember talking with Eddie, and I said something about, and, you know, Eddie's gonna something about this, we were talking about something, and I said, and Eddie's coming up next to destroy your anus like a meteorite or something like that. got a rise out of him. And then we kind of started up the MMA stuff. I noticed that he was on there, and then I think it was because you guys were Jesus Christ, Fred.
I gotta fucking move. My fucking phone's dying, you mouthy prick.
Jesus Christ. It looks like footage from the Blair Witch. And then I think it was, I was on the show as a guest, and I hit it off with Fred. And then Fred and I started doing shows, and then Andy and Fred and I started doing shows. And every now and then you guys dig me up like an old corpse and bring me onto one of the shows because I don't have time to do it anymore. But it's weird. And so I was talking with Eddie, and so the three of us, and it doesn't matter, I don't care if anybody watches this show, but it's time for us to start doing an annual thing like we didn't get to do with Andy. I told him that I was going to make it to the Cotswolds, and I could have. And I will always regret not. This past summer, I could have, and just took it for granted that he would still be there. And then we talked about this next summer, and now he's gone. And so MMA besides, or the show besides, whatever, we need to start doing an annual, like, find a center location, someplace fun, and then we'll do a couple of shows live together But that's the thing. And I guess if Max watches this or anybody else watches this, man, if you got a connection with somebody and you don't go see them physically, don't fuck around, because sometimes people that you think are going to be there tomorrow, they aren't. And that's, to me, I mean, I'm 40 years old and I've lost my father, I've lost people, but Andy kind of, especially at my age, drove that home, that if you have an opportunity to make a connection with another human being, whether it be a virtual connection or a Twitter connection or whatever, if you hit it off with some people, go see them for real. Get, you know, be as real as Andy was with us.
No, absolutely, man. And dude, it was weird. I lost all my grandparents when I was a little kid, right? Oh, we got the echo again. That's all good. Anyway, but like I lost all my grandparents, you know, young and everything, and I don't know, it hurt more when we lost Andy for some reason. You know what I mean? And I'm sure it's because I didn't get to know my grandparents that well. But Andy was a like constant source of like knowledge, and it was weird. Like he would not even weird. I understood why I did it. Like I would fucking be, you know, I would play video games that I'd be stupid, and I would stream, you know, like oh, I'm playing this shit online and shit, and he'd be like, stop playing that bullshit. I mean, he would tell me to cut the shit, you know what I mean, go do something that actually matters. You know what I mean? And then yeah, he would ask me about my nephew, he'd ask me about jiu-jitsu, how that's going, and how was your last match, all this shit, how's training going, and I'm just like yeah, you know, cool, you know, and it was really, it was genuine. That's how he was, right? Genuine at all times. Never bullshitted you. Never, you know, blew smoke up your ass at all. Like if he thought you know, you were fucking up, he would told you were fucking up. And it was very refreshing, and it was very real, and that's why it hurts so much, man. That's why it hurts so goddamn much to read that message. And to realize that our really good friend was gone, and the fact that we don't get to see him. And so I'm with you. We need to do like a yearly thing. Just find a spot somewhere, and all three of us just meet up.
It's weird, and I hope Max does see this, or at least understands. Like, my father died 7 or 8 years ago, and I would say that I had about the equal reaction to a man that I had never met, just because you know a quality human being when one enters your life. And we've been fortunate enough to be blessed by Andy, to have him for as long as we did, and each other. It was really difficult. Like, I'm not a super emotional guy. We got Fred leaking like a fucking faucet over here, probably because he's high and a hippie, but yeah, I don't cry that often, and I cried the whole way home. Yeah. It's an hour and a half from where I was to when I got home, and I could not stop myself. And I read that message again to make sure I understood it. And then all the sentiment that we sent his son, and I don't know Max as well as I do Andy, and I apologize about that, Max. I hope you're doing good in Thailand, but man, it was crazy. And it's nice for Max to have said that we were some of the few people that he still bothered with at the end. You know what I mean? That means so much more now that we were 3 of the people, that it wasn't just a Twitter connection. Like every now and then he would bust your balls on Twitter. Like I got texts from Andy, I got Skypes from Andy, I have DMs from Andy. And now all of those mean so much more. Like in Fred's way, the way that he celebrated it, he said goodbye and then got rid of them. But for me, I've got pictures, I've got conversations, and now that'll be in my phone forever. That'll be in my Twitter forever. And I can always go back and take a look at Andy. I can see what he said to me. And that shit is something I missed out on with my dad. And so for me, that's, you know, those will be DMs that I keep forever, because that's a man that now, like for the rest of my life, I'll remember Andy Reid and the compassion that he had for me and my son, my situation. And that even though that he knew he was dying, cared about what was going on with us.
You know, you said it, man. That's what I really respected about English. English was a real fucking man's man. You know what I'm saying, man? He look, imagine the pain that he was in, and he still showed up for the pod. He still watched our fucking stupid little goofy podcast way back in the day, our dopey little keyboard warrior shit.
Yeah.
Fuck with us and watch our shit. Great pain during that whole time. You know what I'm saying, man? And look at Max in fucking Thailand doing Muay Thai. That's how fucking badass and cool English was. Yep. His fucking son is in Thailand doing Muay Thai now, and a good kid. Views films, has great taste in music. Fucking arts and shit. You know what I'm saying, man? English was a real cool fucking man's man. He was the type of dude that could fucking art and politics and faggy shit like that, but could bring up old fucking boxing matches and knew everything about fucking Muay Thai and was just a combat sports fanatic, just like we were, man. A rabid dog with this shit. He knew every fucking fighter, every fucking card, watched all the fights. A brilliant, cool human being, man. Great taste in music. The show that we did, the Intellectual Musings, you know, we got to know Andy a lot on there. And he never ceased to amaze. I mean, as much as me and Aaron get along, and even though we are somewhat opposite, me and Aaron are a bit more similar than me and English was. English has got about 20 years on me. He's European. He would always school us on some shit, man. Even when the music and the films, we did a episode where we did like our favorite albums of top 5 albums, and then we did one top 5 movies. I never heard none of this shit that he fucking talked about. But that was the great thing about him. He had this wealth of knowledge of shit that I just wasn't hip to. And even though he knew that me and him were very different, and that I'm not fucking educated, I didn't make it through high school or nothing, he like a cunt. He was never condescending, even though he had a, you know, clearly fucking had a lot of education and shit. And, you know, the uber liberal, man. He was fucking anti, whatever fucking Donald Trump is. If anybody ever watches this fucking thing, if you want a good indication of motherfucking what English was about, all the shit that Donald Trump stands for, English was anti that shit, man. He was cool with the fucking gays. He'd always get on me for the racist comments I'd make, even if they were fucking funny. He was fucking a cool ass, smart, open-minded fucking dude, man. And it's definitely gonna be weird.
It was funny when we did that movies, and that dude was all right. First, he was an OG hater. Like you guys call me hater Emelianenko. Nobody hates. Nobody hated like Andrew hated. That fucker had more hate in his heart than most people have hearts.
He was just raw with it, though.
Like esoteric shit. I spent the entire episode of Musings on Google. He was like, oh, and my number 3 album is blah, blah, blah by blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit? I've never heard a fucking song by these cocksuckers in my life. And then no bullshit. He'd be like, oh, and they influenced this band. And if you like this, this is the reason why you like this. And sure as fuck, I'd be looking it up. I'd be like, oh, okay, the Swarming Bungholes by da-da-da. Yeah, that's where the grunge influence came from, and that's where this and the other thing. It was crazy because now I do believe Andrew, just like all men, was slightly full of shit about some things. I think he was an exaggerator. But when it came to like knowing why he liked music, my music taste after that episode, I realized how sophomoric my music tastes were. I was like, oh yeah, I'm like stuck in the 90s and I listen to a bunch of punk bullshit that's got no meaning to it whatsoever. So maybe I'll listen to some Portishead and some of this. And so now on my playlist, I got half of that shit. I can't stand most of it, to tell you guys the truth. It's fucking awful. But there's a little bit of it that I listen to and I'm like, okay, I can see why Andy liked that. So it is just weird. And just, you know, and I'm sure you guys have gone through it. It's just weird that I never get to ask him another question. That's that's the weirdest thing for me. Like even just something simple like how's it going? Like you feeling okay today? Or what did you think about Cyborg getting passed up on the USADA thing so he could say something hateful?
Right.
Or just like he would take memes, right? Like that sniffing glue meme from Airplane. He loved that. I picked the wrong day to quit sniffing glue. It's fucking what's that Lloyd Bridges upside down with his hair all fucking up and like that, or the you know, witness my fields of fucks or something like that, or go fuck yourself and then fuck yourself again. It's weird. Like with you guys, I fuck with your shit on Twitter for sure, but now you know, my feed is different because it was always like that fat fucking troll, that ginger troll he put up for Fred. Yeah. The big fat one with the braided mustache.
With like the beard. Yeah.
You know, it's like I want to take all of those pictures and then still keep some kind of tradition alive for that. And he's one of the first human beings that I've lost that it's not just going to be transient, where I was like, oh man, you know, he's gone, that sucks. Like a celebrity or something, you're like, well, Prince made some good music, but fuck Purple Rain. Do you know what I mean? Like with Andy, it's just like that. Right. You know what I mean? Like there's going to be times where I was like, I wonder how Andy's doing, and then I will remember that he's passed. And that's when you know somebody has made a significant difference. And I think it takes a specific kind of human being to make a significant difference. And for those of you who may watch this on Eddie's channel and never paid attention to Andy Reid, you can go back in time, listen to the Intellectual Musings. You can see him on the MMA Advocates. He guests a couple of times on the Keyboard Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do yourself a favor, and even if the audio quality is bad or the episodes are stupid, take a chance to listen to what Andy Reid had to say, because for just a common guy, he makes an uncommon impact. And that, you know, that's something that I will continue to miss. And I'm glad we get a chance to talk about this and drink. It's too bad that we never got to drink with him, but you know, if you guys subscribe to the channel, go back in time and find the first episodes that he jumped in on and listen to his smooth English accent and just the irreverent shit that he used to say, or go through his Twitter feed, because I'm sure it's not gone. You can never erase that shit, and just see the seething hatred that was Andy Reid. He's an amazing hater. Like he's more than level 9,000 hatred. He hated fucking everything.
Everything, yeah. You know, a couple days ago, not really like, well, shit, we got whatever. But he had like a couple days ago, like I had kind of, you know, not accepted it, not fully sunk in everything, but I had kind of like realized, okay, this is real. He's gone, whatever. This, you know, I you know, how do we process this, right? And then Max DM'd me on Twitter and said, you know what, because I sent him this long message and stuff about what Andy meant to me and everything, and he replied, and I literally was driving home from work, and I burst out into tears when he said, I'm glad that I get to go back, and I'm gonna download all the YouTube videos off your channel, because I at least get to, you know, hear his voice a few more times before I really have to accept that he's gone. And man, I cried like I fucking lost it. And I'm driving home when I read that shit, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, but it's true. You can't go back. You can't read it. And I mean, we're not the only ones that made an impact on. I mean, there's a lot of people that watch the show that I mean, they've been reaching out like left and right to Andy, to us. You know, Mike Jarvis is on the YouTube comments right now, and he says, Andrew had his son tweet me links of Muay Thai fights because I told him that you guys got me into watching Muay Thai. Like, you know what I mean? Like he went out of his way to tell Max, hey, send this guy some Muay Thai links, you know? And I mean, we're not the only ones. Dave and Jesse got to interact with him, especially, you know, throughout these last, you know, few months. And Jesse can't make the show, but he did send me something that, I guess sort of what he wanted to say. He says, this is from Jesse. Over the past year or so, I was introduced to Andy via the CrossBones team. He immediately challenged my views on MMA striking and showed me just how rudimentary it really was. We had a few arguments about whom would beat whom, as was his favorite thing to do. But in the end, I became very fond of his prickly nature. Each episode of our Advocate show, he brought a stern outlook to each well-thought-out opinion. Although Andy every episode gave almost every known government agency a reason to put us on several lists, if I could trade my deportation for one last conversation with Andy, I would. I made a bet with Andy over a fight, and I believe I lost that bet. I owe Andy a round of beers that I can't honor now. I hope to one day be able to honor that bet and share that beer with a man that was and is prickly, but became one of my favorite people to talk MMA and life with. And you know, and then, you know, it's not just us. You know what I mean? Like, it's everybody that watches shows. People have been reaching out left and right. Mike Jarvis, you know, reaching out. I know Dave Madden felt this for sure. You know, even like guys, I think Eastside Rider. Yeah, Eastside Rider's on the YouTube comments now. You know, and Flying Brian and Georgie and you know, and Yankees on here, and all these people that never even, you know, like they never got to have a conversation the way we did with them, right? Or even be on the shows with them, and they're feeling it. You know what I mean? So I mean, Max, if you get to see this at all, like just know that your father touched a lot of people. A lot of people. And it wasn't just
and probably most of them were young boys.
I was just fixing to say.
I was waiting for that one.
I'll tell you what. English was a bad motherfucker too. Some of the shit he said before we went live on the music.
Oh my Jesus!
Was it nothing nice, son? It wasn't nothing nice, and I'd be like, "Yo, English, we gotta talk about that." And he'd go, "No," he'd go, "No, Bloody Max is gonna be listening to this show. I can't be saying that shit." So those will always stay in confidence. But let me just tell you something.
Oh man,
nice. He wasn't nothing nice.
And I'll let you guys all on in a little secret. The musings and Stand and Bang would probably be a lot more popular with other groups had we hit record 30 minutes before we hit record.
Oh, dude, yeah. But yeah, he'd have been on more lists though. Okay, remember when you got put on that list for saying, saying whatever, you said faggot or something like that. Yeah, he said that. And you got put on every list with your smiling fucking face. that exact face is on there. And fucking, yeah, dude, same thing with us. Like when we did Advocates, the first 30 minutes with Andy talking was gold. And just like you said, had we hit live before that, it'd have been a popular ass show. We'd have been hated by like 30 different groups, but it'd have been a popular fucking show. But I know exactly what you mean, man. That dude, goddamn, could Andy could say some shit. It was fucking.
I gotta tell you, I totally forgot about that faggot thing until one of you guys mentioned that the F word. That's the only time I've ever been flagged by a group, by an advocate group. Have you seen this cocksucker?
With a big smiling face.
Wow. But no, I tell you what, I know Twitter lets just about everything on. I mean, you can see people getting drilled in their butthole by a jackhammer. But I'll tell you what, if we had published some of the stuff that we talked about prior to hitting record, we definitely would have got our Twitter accounts suspended for a couple of days.
Easily.
He was inappropriate.
And we loved him for it.
He didn't like pedophiles, that's for sure.
Oh, he hated those motherfuckers.
Pedophile.
How did he say it? Because he changed the way we say everything. You can't say twat. You gotta say twat.
Listen.
No.
I'm gonna tell you something.
What?
Pedophiles, because pedophiles hate feet or something like that, or love feet.
Yeah.
What is it?
Right.
If I said pedophile, he's like, no, that's about feet. It's pedophile.
It's not right because it's like a pediatrician.
Yeah.
Pediatricians deal with babies.
Yeah.
Pedophiles like fucking babies. English, enlighten me these things are goddamn fat.
Fuck, you know what? Hey, when we meet up, hopefully later, sooner than later, but sometime this year, hopefully, when we meet up, we gotta fucking record whatever the fuck we talk about, because it's always some of the best shit.
I don't think we should put that on your channel.
No, we gotta put that on some other channel like yours.
Yeah, nobody listens to our channel, so we can put all of it on mine. I don't care. we produce a show every 174 days.
You know what, dude? When you and I remember telling you guys this repeatedly. When you guys started doing the musings, like, and I work at a place where it's mostly Latino people working, Hispanics people working, and like I started playing that shit out loud because, and honestly, it only happened by chance. All right, I had one of those stupid like Bluetooth speakers that you can fucking put out. My earbuds stopped working, right? So I couldn't have in my ears. So I started hooking up my phone to that speaker while I'm listening to the musings, and all these motherfuckers became huge fans of the show, but specifically of Andy, because he would just rip in the motherfuckers just with no mercy, and everyone fucking loved it. They never even fucking saw his face. They don't even know what he looked like. But goddamn, man, for real. Like, I'm gonna miss this motherfucker.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that's another thing that is difficult, is that every time I talked with Andy, the end of the conversation, now sort out the show. I changed operating systems. I changed operating systems, and I've had a hard time recording shows since then. And so we dropped the musings. And really it became the Trump show because whatever. And now, like, you always think you have whatever. I'll do it tomorrow, Andy. We'll do it next week, Andy. We'll do it whenever. Well, I done fucked up because Now the last show was the fucking last show.
Yeah. That's the one sad thing about all this, man. The reality of it all is that, you know, you do have to live for the moment because it's not fucking problem. Funny thing is, too, we knew that fucking Andy was sick, but, you know, you just never expected it to happen like that, certainly not that quick. You thought maybe he'd go to the hospital or something would happen. You just never assumed we'd just get a fucking message all of a sudden and it'd be fucking done and over with before we even had a fucking chance to get to say goodbye or nothing. That's what made it all so hard.
Well, now
listen, man.
Let's talk about some of the stuff that he would like. Now, we have a fighter that's fighting tonight that he enjoyed.
Can I just bust your bubble? Apparently, and I just saw this on Twitter 5 minutes ago, and I meant to bring it up a second ago, but I just can't stop thinking about Andy. That fight is off. Matt Mitrione is sick.
What?
Fedor Mitrione is off. I shit you not. That shit's canceled. I've been getting tweets about it and fucking messages from other people. And this is Scott Coker's official statement. Due to illness, Matt Mitrione will be unable to compete tonight at Bellator 172. Thompson and Pitbull promoted the main event, so we don't even see Fedor fight. But I believe Andy would have had some good shit to say about that. I'll tell you that much.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck? You know what happened? It's that goddamn Putin.
Yeah. He fucking took
Putin had meathead poison.
Yeah.
Because he just couldn't see his boy getting struck down like that. Fuck, man.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it is. Fucking Matt Mitrione came down with vulvovaginitis because he's a pussy.
You know what? That's weird. When they say he felt ill, I was like, what the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean?
He fell ill. What is this, an episode of Game of Thrones?
15 fucking minutes before the fight. When did he start feeling sick? When we started the show?
I guess.
No shit. What the fuck?
It's goddamn, dude. I can't believe that shit. Like, oh.
Yeah, that fucking sucks.
I tell you what.
I guess my segue sucks, dick.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would say.
Yeah, no shit. Well, what the fuck?
Yeah,
God damn it.
It literally happened while we're doing.
Is there any other heavyweight around?
Congo's on that card. Move his ass up.
There we go. He'll do.
But
He'll
they're not gonna do
Move
that
Congo
shit.
up.
They're not gonna do it for some reason. They just canceled the fucking fight. Bullshit. But let's talk about some other shit that he would like to talk about. I mean, like what? Like he'd like to shit on Trump. That's for sure. Like,
well, how about this? We talked a long time ago. Now, Flying Brian might watch this show, or at least is aware of it.
He's in the comments right now, so he might actually be watching.
All right, Brian. I saw that Brian was talking about he's disappointed with the UFC right now because of WME.
Mm.
I'm sure Andy felt the same way, and you guys must. Nikita Krylov?
Yeah, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Seriously? I think Brian tweeted out, fight entertainment is okay, but only entertainment is not okay. Fred and I think Eddie, we talked about this too. They're ruining the UFC. I swear to God. I'm about to become a fucking Bellator acolyte if they don't stop this fucking bullshit. I don't want this WME, not WWE, and that is what is becoming rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely using their fucking formula, right? It's just it's ridiculous over left and right getting like that. But WME also they're just thinking about money right now, and it's just for all the bitching people did about the UFC before WME bought it. You know what I mean? When the Fertittas owned it, like you would think they're probably thinking like, fuck, I would rather be in the Fertitta era still instead of this WME bullshit because it was better back then, I think.
Fuck yeah. The Fertittas and Dana White were fucking stand-up mobsters. Mm-hmm. Now you're doing business with the real bad guys.
Dude, how long have you
had a code?
How long have you been drinking before we started this show?
Did you hear him?
A few hours.
When he hopped on, I was like, wow, he's learning his words. He's been drinking for a minute. But it's all good. It's all good. I don't blame you. I'm starting to, here's the thing. I'm jumping on the show right after training. So I'm dehydrated. Barely ate any food, and I've been drinking. I'm feeling the shit out of this, Jack.
Well, I had a shot of Patron, and I'm just about through my second beer, and I'm pretty sure this is historical. Neither of you guys have ever seen me drink before, have you?
Never. I thought no. you had to be. I thought you had to be like 100%, like nothing.
No, I have to be 100% off drugs.
Right, drugs, right. But I think you have to be off like alcohol too.
I have a real difficulty with Colombian marching powder, Andy.
Yeah, that's
Colombian marching powder. I'm gonna start saying that. Goddamn.
But other than that, no. I can't believe that. After all the fucking first off, why they would give Fedor Matt Mitrione, who honestly, I'm sure you guys remember this, he lost his first fight in Bellator. They let him get back off the mat and then beat that guy, but he got knocked the fuck out in like 12 seconds. And then the ref just didn't stop it until Mitrione could recover. Okay, if it would have happened, which now it's not gonna happen, what did you guys expect tonight?
I thought Mitrione was
what did I expect?
No, go ahead,
versus what I think was gonna happen. What I expected was that goddamn meathead to come out there and knock Fedor out.
That's what I thought was gonna happen. Shit.
But what I wanted to happen was to see. Let me tell you something. First off, I was rooting for Fedor tonight regardless because of English. But second off, I am. What that fucking prick cut Jonathan Snowden called me one time irrelevant or a non-entity. You're right, goddammit. In the MMA Twitter sphere, I'm a non-entity, and I don't give a shit. But I tell you what, Matt Mitrione responded to me one time, and he asked me what I've done. What have you done? What have you done? I played backup for the Giants and got cut. UFC, what have you done? I've been cute and had a big dick, you fat dummy. That's what I've done. So, fuck, man. This is bullshit. And he got sick. I wanted to see fucking Matt get flatlined tonight. That's why I've been drinking. I was waiting for it.
If we decide to bring Stand and Bang back, we are doing all of our shows drunk.
Fuck yes, dude. That people, you know how many subscribers you guys will have? Just hammered Fred talking about
that's gonna be
fuck that guy. Fuck him.
You know what I think about
Mitrione have a history.
Fuck my dick.
They go Dak with a D-A-C-K. That's what that motherfucker
that's
sounds
like.
That's
the Dak.
Let's reel it back. Did you guys see Hector Lombard now that he's not doing steroids?
Yeah, he came in at 182. He came in under 185.
He looks like a normal.
He looks like
a normal. You know what I want to know? What's up with steroids and all the PEDs? Why does it change black men's colors? You notice that?
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not bullshitting you, and I'm not being racist or fucking cute or nothing. But like, you do the side by sides of like people that they figured were juicing and then are not. When they're not, they look like a nice chocolate tone. They look good. You know what I mean? And then you look at them when they're juicing, and they look a little darker and a little rougher and a little more uneven. If that shit don't tell you that is fucking you up, nothing will, man. It fucking changes your skin tone. Stop it.
That's just crazy. Fucking yeah, but you're right. He looks like a normal dude, but he's lighter skinned, like by a lot. And fucking who's he fighting again? Johnny Hendricks made weight. He came in at 185.5. He can't even come under that shit. He came in at 185.5. He's all happy too. He's like, I get to keep eating my Twinkies and shit and fight.
I'm not impressed with Johnny Hendricks making it in at 185.5. Not even a little bit. If that fat cunt wouldn't have made weight, I wouldn't have done anything because I have no power over Johnny Hendricks. But I would have been less impressed than I am right now. He should have been making 170, but now he's irrelevant there. What do you guys think is going to happen in that fight?
Okay, Hector Lombard.
Here's a better question.
Go ahead.
Who gives a shit? Both of those fat fucks should be 170. 185. Why the fuck is this fight even happening at middleweight? Because these pricks can't lay off the cheeseburgers?
That's exactly
I'm a self-destructive cocksucker, and even I gave up the beef and the fucking swine.
I don't understand this fight at all either. But it's funny. I just laugh when they make weight. You know, have you guys seen pictures of Kelvin Gastelum?
What's the matter with his fucking legs? Why is he
but
on the fucking bottom half?
Fuck his legs. Did you see the picture? He's jacked shitless. Like, if I was USADA, I would be like, that guy, get him. He's on fucking some shit. He's jacked. Out of
He
nowhere.
needs to put some steroids in his calf muscles.
They do something.
He's got fucking
I don't think that
legs like
works.
John Jones.
I don't think that works, but that'd be interesting. If that works for him, I'm gonna do it too. I got fucking skinny ass calves. God damn it.
Do you?
Yeah, dude. I fucking.
Is that a Mexican thing?
I think it is. I'm assuming it is.
Mexicans got
What is
skinny
that?
legs or something?
What?
What is that? Synthol? Do you know what I'm talking about? Where these
That oil shit? Yeah,
yeah, the oil that they put in
the guy
themselves.
with the guy with the biggest biceps in the world has a ton of synthol oil in his fucking arms. Like I would want to I want to light his arms on fire, see what happens. That's all I want to do.
This show has gone on. How long have we been on this show?
I don't know. I'll tell you in a second. I gotta pull up the link, but I think we've been on for at least 30 minutes, maybe 40.
Apparently, it only takes us
we
about
might
30 or 40 minutes to get hammered.
Oh, dude, it takes no time. I was dehydrated when I started drinking. Fuck.
I've been working at it for a while as far as it goes. But
I actually have a 2-beer limit that doesn't go with this, and so this is more than I've drank in quite some time.
Yeah, I'm not supposed to drink till next week, but I'm not gonna I'm not skipping drinking, or at least pouring, kicking one back for our boy.
having a drink.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. 45 minutes.
All right, well,
45
listen,
minutes.
my kids are at the door and they're fucking killing each other. Sounds like one of them's got one of the goddamn arm bars. She's squealing like a fucking pig that just got his sack cut.
It's pretty much time for prelims or something now, isn't it? Anyways.
Prelims should be starting.
Yep,
Well, no, for Bellator, because UFC's not till tomorrow. I don't know what time Bellator starts, but those assholes aren't live.
UFC isn't until tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a Sunday night show.
Here's the thing. This is where it gets funny. They didn't want to compete with Bellator because they actually have a decent card, and all of a sudden, Fedor's not fighting, and now Dana's probably laughing his ass off somewhere right now.
Hilarious.
So.
That's it.
All right. Well, listen, man. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna wrap this up, fellas?
What's the one thing that you're never gonna forget about Andrew?
Oof. I don't know, man. For me, I would say there's a lot, and I probably couldn't come up with just one thing, man. Man, it's gonna be really weird not having him around to bust my balls. And to just get his interesting perspective on things when I'd like to have it. It's going to be a little it's going to take a little getting used to, and Twitter's going to fucking blow, that's for sure. All due respect to all my other people on Twitter. Andy made Twitter special for me, man, and it's going to be weird him not being around, but life is such. We push forward. Hopefully we can just try to learn from this and fuck with each other and rock this bitch till the wheels fall off, man. Have some fun while we're here.
I hear that, man. And I think the one thing I'm gonna take away from Andy is like how real you could be and make true friendships out of I guess Twitter or the internet or whatever. And I don't know. He had this quality, man. Like there was times where I would hop on here and Fred, you had to do something, you had to send something with the kids real quick, and we'd have to wait for you for like 15 minutes, and Jesse and Dave would still be busy doing whatever, and me and him would talk, and it's those 5 to 10 minute conversations I'm gonna miss, because it was never about MMA, not even close. It was never even about politics. It was like, he would ask me about something that's going on with me, and I would talk to him about it, and we go back and forth, and I'd ask him about Max and when he's going to Thailand and stuff, and I'm gonna miss those 5 to 10 minutes, man, for every show that we had, I'm very grateful that we have those, recorded on the internet forever, to go back to and listen to. And I'm very happy that that Max has it, and I know Andrew's daughter has those to go back and watch those and listen to her dad talk. And I mean, I guess what I want to say is I hope they understand and know that. Like, he lived for them. That's all. Whenever I talked to him, he talked about them, and and he lived for them. And I don't know. I'm gonna miss that dude, man, a lot. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I don't want to break apart during the last thing. So just everything.
Yeah.
I miss everything that you guys miss. I'm sure, he would already been calling me a homosexual for as much as I cried over Andy.
Right.
So I miss that about him. I miss that he never missed an opportunity to stab one of us. Do you know what I mean? When he had a chance. And I miss the fact that after he would have publicly humiliated us, he would have hit us on DM to see if it was okay.
Yeah.
I actually had him apologize to me for being brutal in public, which is fucking ridiculous, but he didn't know me as well then.
Right.
And so, Andy Reid, for 3 adult men to be crying over you because you left us too early, that means a lot, because I'm sure we don't do this for too many people.
Indeed. Indeed, man.
So we love you, buddy.
Indeed.
And we miss you. And hope that you are making everybody miserable wherever you ended up.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. He probably showed up like, "What's up, you deaf cunts? I'm fucking here." All right, fellas. Well, it's gonna do it for us. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everyone that's reached out. We really appreciate it. You know, and thank you for reaching out to Max, because you know, he's been able to take those words you guys sent him, and you know, it lifts his spirits. So, well, we'll see you guys on the whenever next time we come on. All right. See you guys. Good night, wheelchair.